Winners don't use drugs.
I always get the delay on that. Anyway. What's up?
Hey!
Darius, Carol, thank you for joining me. For
Hey, thank you for hosting.
Yes, thank you for joining me for viewer advisory. You watched Hobo with a Shotgun from 2011. I jumped a little forward with the timeline of movies I watch. We didn't even get to a movie in the 2000s. We jumped right to the 2010s.
2011.
Oh, the chat's filling up. Moira,
Yeah, Moira.
Raquel.
Hey, Raquel.
I mean, the chat was already filled up, but then I see Manticore. Hello, Manticore.
Hail, Manticore.
I've seen Manticore in my chat before. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming through. My friend from here in the Bronx. Fester 814. What's good, brother? How you doing?
What's good, Fester?
I got to get you to come through on one of these movies one night, Fester. Hey,
Optic Racer.
What's good, brother? How you doing, Optic?
Hey, Optic. Are you unsure of the hail?
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, Games. Games has changed his name again, right? Or is this
Gangsters?
Is this one of his many different profiles? This is Games, right?
Yeah. Well, he changes it based around the theme. So
month,
for like a whole month.
All the games.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that game. It was a PS2 game.
Hail GMC. He's a good dude.
Yeah, Manticore. Welcome. Try to
Still
have
half
He's in the
asleep.
future, and there's no pie.
He's what?
Manticore lives in the future, and in the future, pie is illegal.
Oh, I don't think I want to live long enough to see that future.
What is this, Demolition Man?
Oh, hey, Games took time off his live stream to come say hello.
Oh,
that was so very nice.
Moira says hugs, Carol.
Hi, Moira. Somebody brought a hooker.
Yeah, Frank. I'll hit you up next week for the next movie we're gonna do.
Allegedly.
Yes. Hail. Gangsters. Not games. Now he's gangsters.
Gangsters. What's a leader?
How are you, Carol?
Hi, Optic. I haven't seen you in forever.
So how are you, Carol? Yeah, really?
I'm fantastic.
You good? Even though we watched this movie?
I mean, I'm a little traumatized by it.
But you've seen this before.
Yeah, no, it's very real to life at that one
Darius,
channel.
I remember, I forgot that I'd seen this movie once many years ago because I think I was drunk at the time.
This is the type of movie that you would catch drunk somewhere. This is one of those types of movies.
Yeah, if I watched it in 2011 or 2012, I was almost certainly drunk at the time.
You wake up after a hangover, you're like, did I imagine that movie?
Yeah. Yeah, that does happen sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of movies in that state.
And this is the kind of movie that you watch with friends or under the influence of something.
Oh, did you sub to me, Manticore? Oh, if you did, thank you.
You should come and watch a movie with us, Manticore. Great movies. Always great.
Great movies. I would not say this was a great movie.
It was great at being what it was.
Oh, yeah, it was good
Great
at being
bad.
Fucking Hobo with a Shotgun. Well, we at least got Rutger Hauer in it.
Oh, I love Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, Rutger Hauer's the man. Well, he was the man. No, you know what? Fuck it. He's still the man. His spirit lives on.
R.I.P.
Well, thank you, Manticore. Appreciate that. Maybe one day I'll get to 300 subs.
Yeah, man.
Raquel.
And then you could sing a song thanking each one by name.
Oh, Yeah, I don't have the auto tune equipment that you have, though. Hello, Raquel, and congratulations on your subs. I didn't realize that you were gonna do your 600 subs stream, but
Yes, congratulations, Raquel. Pours out a 4.
I would have held off if I knew you were going to do that. Sorry, Raquel. I'm sorry.
It's my fault.
I don't want to be stepping on toes. Or anything.
I'll take responsibility. I asked him to bump it to Thursday this week.
Yeah. So it's Darius's fault.
It's all my fault.
Damn you, Darius.
Thank you for pouring out a 40, Manticore.
And Darius, do you have Manicore's link for Artifice? I'll share porn with anybody who backs.
I can find it. I'm just afraid to open another tab because my computer might reboot.
All right. Well, if you're trading porn, could you do it in your like DMs or nothing and not have my channel?
No. It'll be a private porn trading, but they have to back the
private porn trading.
You talk about the comic book, right? The campaign.
Yes. Yeah. But because somebody didn't wrench me, I can't put links in their chat.
Jesus Christ!
You know, I can't open another window.
All right, I forgot about that, Carol.
It's fine. It's whatever. It's tag blame Darius.
See, and then I type in Carol's cookies, and there's 900 women named Carol making cookies.
Sorry, don't have to like be in the chat for you. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Figure it out.
This stream has already derailed. 7 minutes in.
Did we even watch the movie?
Yeah, we watched this movie. This is the second time I've seen this movie in my lifetime. Okay, Darius got it.
I got it.
Thank you, Darius.
Happy to help. And you know what? Since I'm the co-pilot tonight, I'm riding shotgun
with a hobo.
With a lawnmower.
Well, one thing we learned from this movie is shotgun beats lawnmower.
Yeah.
I've been mowing the lawn wrong all this time.
Much rather have a shotgun than a lawnmower, especially in Scum Town. Beautiful, beautiful Scum Town.
Downtown,
yes,
Scum Town.
The official name is Scum Town,
but
the locals call it.
It's supposed to be
Town.
Fuck Town.
Because when Rutger Hauer arrives to the town on the train in the beginning, scum is spray painted over the word hope.
Oh, hope. Yeah, okay. That's right. I forgot that. Hope
really
Town.
There really is no hope in this town.
No.
Hey, on a slightly related note, did I tell you when I used to substitute teach in Detroit, there was a school called Hope.
You were a teacher?
Yeah. And somebody had spray painted the word fuck hope outside the school. And I was like, that's the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Manticore is giving you props, Darius.
Hey, Manticore's good peeps.
Good to know. Good to know. A nice meeting you, Manticore. Maybe one day you can come through and watch a shitty movie with us.
Yeah. Oh, he gonna. Whether he likes it or not, he gonna do it. I mean, it would be nice if you joined us one.
Let's talk about Scum Town.
Oh my god! You know, I know I made the joke that it in real life we just call it the Bronx, but it is.
I live here in the Bronx, and I'm not going to argue with you. I won't argue with you at all, bro.
But it is a
my area of the Bronx is not as bad as you'll see some surrounding areas. Like,
yeah, the Scum Town is cartoonishly filled with crime.
Well, you also get the most ridiculous, over the top, cartoonish villains in this fucking city.
Oh
They
yeah,
make it
right off the
glass.
bat. What, Carol?
They made him eat glass.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's
well,
the
yeah.
fight guy. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the very first thing Rutger Hauer sees is the dude with the sewer cap around his neck
Oh yeah,
running.
Yeah, right off the inbound train.
Yeah, old timey hobo style on the side of a fucking train coming
Yep.
into town.
Yep. And it's funny you say that because hobo, I just learned this a couple months ago. Hobo actually is a contraction of homeward bound.
Really?
Yeah. There are differences between like a bum and a like a vagrant and a hobo. And a hobo is someone who is homeward bound. They're on their way back after, I don't know, being a vagrant or possibly finding work in another city somewhere. That's why they have the stick with the little bag of their clothes over their shoulder.
Bindle?
Yeah, the bindle. Yeah, because they're heading back home to do their load of laundry for the year.
Which one? What are you asking, Manticore? What movie are we gonna do next week? I'll get to that later. I'll mention what movie I want to do next week later because I finally found it. It was originally the movie I was gonna do this week, but I went with Hobo with a Shotgun.
And he regrets it.
Well, the point of me doing this is so we could fucking make fun of these movies.
I love watching terrible movies.
You know,
Did we mention that this movie started out as a trailer?
as one of the fake trailers for Grindhouse, yes.
Yep. Just like Machete did.
But when I was looking that info up, it said it was only in the Canadian releases.
Yeah. But the actor that played the hobo in the trailer was the chief of police in the movie.
Oh yeah, see that I didn't know. See that I wouldn't have thought because they actually got Danny Trejo to be Machete in the trailer, and then they made 2 movies of him with Danny Trejo as Machete.
Right, but those trailers for Grindhouse there was a competition.
Yeah,
So different like teams of filmmakers got together to submit them, and the ones that won made it in.
like Rob Zombie and fucking Eli Roth.
I don't really care for Eli Roth's movies.
Yeah, he's
What was the one he made his bones off of? Was it fucking Hostel?
Yeah, it was Hostile.
Yeah, fuck that movie. I hated that movie.
It's murder porn,
It was stupid.
I don't
torture
even care
porn.
about blood and guts. I don't even care about that. It was just stupid.
I do.
Yeah, exactly what it was, Darius.
But I think he made a movie called The Green Inferno, which is like a tribute to those horrible movies of the 70s, like Cannibal Holocaust.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was awful.
The cannibal genre.
No, it was a horrible movie.
What, Green Inferno or Cannibal Holocaust?
No, Cannibal Holocaust. They ate a fucking turtle.
He seems kind of like a douche in his interviews too. When he used to get interviewed a lot, I would see him on TV. He kind of, I don't know. There's something about him I didn't like.
He's got a giant head.
We've gone off the rails again, guys.
Not really.
Talking about giant head.
Oh yeah,
Big
speaking
head.
of rails, so he comes in. There's a train and there's cocaine in the movie. 2 kinds of rails.
Yeah. There's there's a big pile of cocaine on an arcade game that someone gets their face shoved into.
Yeah, always a good time. So he first enters the town, and the first thing he sees is some guy that Slasher said is from Trailer Park Boys.
I don't know if he was from. He looks to me like he was one of those guys from the Trailer Park Boys, but maybe it wasn't him.
He comes running around the corner with a manhole around his neck, screaming. He's like, "Help! Help me! Please help me! They're gonna take my head off."
Guess how many people helped him?
No one.
In Scum Town, nobody.
All those people. There was a lot of fucking people there too watching that whole thing.
Yep. It's like Kitty Genovese. Rails are overrated. Yep. So nobody does anything. And then the next thing you see is this car. What kind of car was that?
Oh, I don't know. The white car. The white car, right?
Yeah, with the pop-up headlights.
I forget what it was.
It
Yeah, it
comes
was
around the
black.
corner.
Okay. And then we find out that this dude's family is his own family is trying to kill him.
Yep.
Yeah.
His nephews and his brother are trying to kill him.
Yep. So the kingpin gangster of the city is the brother.
It's the two sons. Jesus fucking Christ. The two sons in this movie.
I like their sunglasses.
Oh yeah, always wearing Ray-Ban sunglasses and
And their
white jackets.
They got
Yeah.
varsity jackets. They are basically like carbon copies of 80s bullies.
Yeah.
The volume turns way up. Like you went from shoving a nerd's face into their lunch food tray to ripping their head off with a saw.
Which also happens in the movie. And they've got their slicked back hair.
In fact, one of them is named Slick.
Yeah.
They were hot. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah,
And
those are the guys you go for, Cal? The bad boys?
Bad. See, I am bad.
Yeah, they're total bad boys.
the bad boys.
They bad.
And they have their names on their jackets.
Yeah.
Their first name.
Slick and Ivan. You think if one of them is named Slick, the other one's name would be like, I don't know, like, oh, I think it's something stupid like Blade or
Yeah.
Rage. No, Ivan. So
the gangster. Oh, good.
Yeah, well, they pull up, and then the Drake,
I do like abilities.
the villain,
The Drake.
the main villain of the movie, this fucking floppy, screeching. I don't know what the fuck is. Yeah.
Do you think he was called the Drake because he had that slick back duck's ass haircut?
I don't know. It would have been funny if they actually had Drake playing. Oh my god, this dude was the most cartoonish fucking thing in this movie.
Maybe he was a cartoon.
He would have fit in like as one of like the weasels in Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, it's corny one-liners.
So many terrible one-liners in this movie in general.
So bad.
Right. This movie's so over the top. You know, we immediately find out that he's like killing his own brother in some horrible way. Because he goes on to say, from the moment mom brought him home from the hospital, you know, that he hated him.
He was weak. I knew he was weak. All right, well, this is what they do. First off, they pop open the sewer manhole cover and then drop him down into the... They drop him down so he's hanging from what... He already has, like, a manhole cover around his head when he's running down the street.
No idea how they got that around his head, but...
Well, you know, they do it later on, too. We see they do it later on, too.
Yeah. And you hear...
How did he escape like that? How did he escape? His hands were tied, and he had that thing around his neck. How did he escape?
I don't remember.
No, I mean in general, like how would someone have escaped that? I don't know.
Oh.
Don't think about it too much. So he's already dangling there. Like when he drops into the manhole, you hear...
No. No, I'm fine.
Gotcha. So yeah, they drop him into the manhole.
And he's screaming for help. Please, somebody, do something. Why won't anyone help me?
And he looks right at Rutger Hauer, directly at Rutger Hauer. Like, I guess he could see it in Rutger Hauer that he had some fight in him, as opposed to everyone else in the city.
Right. And the Drake gets everybody's attention and tell them, you better look, or he's going to shoot them. That everyone has to watch what's about to happen.
And applaud. And Ivan is forcing them to applaud at gunpoint.
Yeah. It's like, wait, please, boys, I'm your uncle. Yeah,
You gave me the shittiest Christmas present. I hate Christmas. The great one-liners from this movie.
I got a good one-liner. I looked it up.
From this one?
Yeah. All right. The hobo, he says, "Put the knife away, kid, or I'll use it to cut welfare checks from your rotten skin." Then Slick says, "Well, you better cut one to Mother Teresa, as you can give it to her while she's finger banging you in hell."
Yep. There's some of the great fucking scripty in this movie. Hello, Sherry. How you doing?
Hi, Sherry.
And Tommy, what's good, brother? How you doing? Hope everything's good, dude.
What's up, Tommy?
Oh yeah, Manticore. There's a lot worse lines. I was like, what is it? Something about the smell of the girl's asshole?
I'm looking.
Are you looking up all the terrible? Is there a site that has all the terrible one-liners from this? Because I would.
I just googled one-liners and from the movie, and I went with the first one. It's on IMDb.
But someone gets electrocuted and then he screams, "He made me come."
Yeah. Well, he's all burnt to a crisp.
Some dude tells a hooker he wants to cut his dick off and rub it on her tits. Yeah, there was some definite script problems with this movie.
The one guy sees the hooker. He says, "She's so hot, I want to eat the peanuts out of her shit."
Did you ever fuck a kid prostitute? Like, what?
Well, no, wait. He said, "You ever?" He said, "You ever been with a hooker kid?" Because it was the young, cop that's still idealistic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah,
okay.
You ever?"
Oh, so prostitute, comma, kid.
Okay. Yeah. He was calling him kid.
That's a big difference.
Yes, it's a big difference. Yeah, he's like, the young cop is still like, idealistic. He hasn't been fully corrupted by the city yet. He's like, no, I've never done that.
Hi, Tom.
What do you say we go splitsies on her?
Splitsies.
He called her a fuck tube.
Yeah. He literally said.
Hobo says, "Look at her. What do you see?" Large man says, "I don't know, man. She's just a fuck tube."
Oh man. Jesus Christ, the lines. It's like the tough guy line, the mix between the sexual lines and the tough guy lines. I don't know what was worse. You're gonna be kissing my pee-pee in hell. Like, whoa, come on, really? It's like the shit that like sixth graders would write on a bathroom wall.
Yeah. Well, we both agreed this is like the type of script we would have written when we were like 14.
Edgy,
getting on. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, so we didn't say what happened to the uncle yet, did we?
No, not yet. we got a little further into the, but so they put a barbed wire noose around the guy's exposed head from the manhole. And Slick gets in the truck. And off goes his uncle's head. And then we get a mini Rob Zombie video because some woman. We get a mini Rob Zombie video because while the blood is spurting out of the guy's head, the girl walks over and starts doing this like pear shake dance and getting the blood all over her.
Yeah, one of the Drake's floozies.
Yeah, one of his blood. You get all my blood.
Right. She's like in a bikini top and she's just like dancing in the blood.
There's so much blood. Sherry, you've said worse than the treehouse.
I know there's people in Comicsgate that write like that now.
Yeah, this entire movie was Vic's chat. And I'm the hobo.
Edgy preteens.
Yeah.
But nobody ever called me no fuck tube yet over there, so.
And they better not.
Fuck tubes. They're all
Fuck tube. I think I got to use that line from now on.
Yeah, we've got to get it trending.
I'm gonna start calling people fuck
tube. Yeah, it's true.
What are you doing, you fucking fuck tube? You're fucking everything up, you fuck tube.
Oh yeah, and it works on men too. Like when he turns in one of the brothers to the police station. He's like, throw him in with the sodomites.
Oh yeah,
lock him up.
Oh, we forgot about how he ends up getting to Slick.
Wait, well, and the head of the uncle, they stick it on the hood ornament of the truck. And they drive off.
It's kind of hood ornament.
But the hobo sneaks into the Drake's hideout where they're capturing homeless people and either just randomly beating the shit out of them, or they're smashing their feet with sledgehammers, or they're bashing their heads in with bumper cars. But
Tommy,
wait, fuck package.
Oh my God, Tommy!
Holy shit!
Oh, somebody time him out in the chat.
No, he's a moderator.
Damn it! Take his wrench.
Hey, Raquel, if I could still stay awake after this is over.
Hey, we could do a raid.
A what? A riot? Okay.
A raid?
Riot?
See, I've heard.
No, you don't know what a raid is? It's like when you're ending your stream.
I've been trying to have a fucking riot for 2 weeks now. God damn it.
I've heard. I know of that term, Sherry. I've heard that plenty. I've heard girls calling that.
What, a cum dumpster?
Cum dumpster, jizz receptacle. Yes, I've heard stuff. He knows not what he says.
I know not what I say.
You're good.
It's the guinea pigs, I tell you.
I'm gonna have a riot. Manicore won't let me.
Nobody said riot, Carol. Calm yourself.
This is a riot-free channel.
I'm having a riot somewhere.
Somewhere, but not here. I don't want riots yet.
If
I want to riot, I'll go take a train ride to fucking Townview Avenue. I'm good.
Oh, Sherry's from New York. She knows all the places. It says in New York, everyone gets called the worst things.
I'm just a few train rides away from war zones. So,
Slasher, come out and play.
I want a quiet riot. I don't want a cum sock riot. I just want a regular.
Cum sock riot. Riot.
Why do I picture a bunch of people getting hit with cum socks? Like backed over the head, Homie the Clown style with cum socks.
Well, the hobo has a coin sock in the movie.
Coin sock. That's what he did. That's how. Doesn't he? He beats up Slick with it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He beats up Slick with it before he brings him to the precinct.
Right. But the place you were talking about where the hobos are getting brutalized is where we first meet the hooker, Abby.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Okay. Slick and Ivan break some dude's arm on an arcade machine and then shove his face into a pile of cocaine.
Oh yeah. Does anyone want to know how to never feel pain again? And they just they shove his face in the cocaine, and then he's got a big grin.
And then runs out. He just runs out like to nowhere.
I couldn't believe they didn't murder him.
I thought they were. Yeah, I did thought they were going to murder him right there. This is only the second time I've seen this movie, so I did forget a lot of it.
I mean, the setup was never feeling pain again. Thought for sure. I mean, that's all they really did in this movie is crack one-liners and murder people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
then try to have like touching moment conversations between the hobo and yes, his name was just the hobo. Between the hobo and Abby. Like, remember they were talking about bears and like what? I just watched some dude get his head crushed by a fucking bumper car, and now you're trying to get into this deep conversation.
Right, and the brothers, like, they try to have moments with their dad, like bonding moments. You were like, the best dad. But he raised them to be monsters.
So the hobo brings Slick into the precinct after knocking him out. And the police, oh, what do you know? They're in on it.
Yeah,
they let Ivan and his brother carve the word "scum" in his chest in the interrogation room.
Yeah, with a knife. Yeah, because he was clearly upset about all the crime. He's like, oh, this is.
And he just got there too. He just got there too. So imagine how the rest of the people.
Right. Well, because he's telling the chief of police all about what he needs to do, lock them all up, or was he say like gather them all up into a truck and throw them in a landfill or something? Just get rid of all the criminals.
Sock riot. I'm still fucking laughing at come sock riot.
Got a drawer full of stiffening shame.
The plague is the coolest part of this movie. But we won't get into them yet. They don't show up till like the last 15 minutes of the movie. Although they're in the arcade game. You get these badass villains in this movie at the end of the movie, but we get a preview of them because they're characters in an arcade game that dude with his arm broken is playing.
And so after they carve Scum into his chest, they just take him outside and throw him into a dumpster. Like the worthless trash you are.
Every day is garbage day.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys do with that sock. You guys are weird.
And he's stumbling down the street. Well, first we saw Abby in the place where they're killing the homeless people. Because she tells off Slick. But then Slick tries to... Is Slick going to grape her or what? Before the hobo intervenes and knocks him out. But then she's back out on the street hooking.
Yeah, and someone, some creeper tries to pick her up.
Who says he's going to cut his dick off and rub it on her tits, by the way. I don't know what kind of pleasure you're going to get out of that, but... You need to be a great society, but...
Yeah, dude, just the creepy one-liners from the Johns.
Yeah.
I hope when you're...
I'm gonna suck your fart through a straw. That's the type of shit they would say. That is literally the type of shit that's probably a rejected line from this movie.
Right. So this guy's trying to pick her up, and the hobo's stumbling down the street, bleeding. And he just runs right into her. Did he run into her on accident, or was he trying to get her away from the... I
have no idea.
Because he had seen her before when she got away from Slick.
He saved her from Slick.
Yeah. Right.
Slick.
Yeah, the plague were great.
The new Scuns were awesome.
The plague...
I need 5 of them.
The way I describe the plague is they're like goth Daft Punk.
They seem like Mad Max characters. They're kind of out of place.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them kind of reminded me of like the robot police from THX 1138.
I think they're kind of out of place in this movie. They're cool though.
And one of them doesn't have a voice. He just makes some electronic sound. Like,
I'm highlighting my chat.
The funny thing is he's bringing up an octopus. We got an octopus later on in this movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a Cthulhu-sized octopus.
What appears to be a beaten octopus, just one that you punch.
Yeah, instead of
Keep it
just a punching bag.
in a dungeon and you just punch it when you're feeling
That's me
stressed.
too.
You got an octopus in your dungeon? Do
I'm a hobo octopus.
you have a dungeon?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Do you not?
Allegedly. No.
All right, I hope the FBI is not listening to this.
Oh, they
stream.
listening.
You might get a
done.
knock.
Toast. They're already here. They're just waiting for you to finish up. They don't want to be rude. They're very polite.
Oh, okay.
So,
You got polite FBI members.
speaking of
They think we're
being
funny.
polite, the hooker's like the only other nice person in the town. And when he stumbles into her, the John drives off.
The
I
John
guess that-
who I swear is the cop later on in the movie that wants to eat the peanuts out of her shit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's like he was so aggressive about trying to pick her up, and then when the hobo shows up, he just peels out and drives off. Like he lost his boner.
Would we say that she's a hooker with a heart of gold?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so she takes him back to her apartment, which is very clean, where she has these awesome old school Afghans,
She has picture
like blankets.
pictures in them.
Right. It's like, oh, why don't you have a picture of your family or a dog or a cat or something?
I don't even remember her explanations.
She's like, oh, I don't have anybody.
She should have just been like, I'm a hooah.
And Carol, you whore. And so she grabs a bottle of liquor, which I thought she was gonna pour on the wound, but she just takes a sip of it.
Would have made more sense. They didn't even bother like patching up his wounds.
No, or sterilizing it. She just gives him like a sweatshirt with a bear on it, so he doesn't get blood on her blankets.
Yeah, she
And
legit
then-
tells him, it's like, you're gonna get blood all over my sheets.
But she lets him sleep in her apartment, which is very nice.
And then they have a long ass boring speech, you know, trying to bond, like, blah blah blah. It's like we're watching people get decapitated. Stop trying to be like touchy feely with this bullshit.
I forgot that entire conversation.
I do too. I just
You
remember.
needed a meaningful moment.
I mostly remember the bear sweater.
Yeah. Same.
Start going into a conversation about bears too.
Bears.
Come on.
Manticore's so
Don't belong
rugged.
in a
It'll
zoo.
scab up.
Bears don't belong in a zoo.
You must be from the
Ew.
outback where they don't use band-aids.
Are you a professional Jello wrestler?
Only on the weekends in the treehouse, Sherry.
Band-aids are for pussies.
Fuck, stop. Oh my god.
It's not the worst thing she's had on the sheet. Although it appears that she does all her hooking outside. So.
Yeah, well, we never actually see her
In
pick
the
anybody up.
yeah, she's trying. She's trying, but she can't get she can't seal the deal because she keeps getting interrupted by murderers and homeless people.
Right.
Just,
Or she just doesn't want to. Like with Slick, she just didn't want to.
I don't know. Slick was so cool. How could she,
Yeah, but you can see it in her face.
how
She's
could
just
she
like,
get that into advances? Well, she's the one who mouths off to him before they break that dude's arm.
right, exactly. She's the only one in town with big enough balls to mouth off to him and tell him no.
Oh, and then he says something about sliding his dick in her pussy. That was one of his. That was like his first I'm hitting on you line.
Yeah, I think the writers were still getting warmed up at that point.
Yeah. It got a lot spicier.
They just get more colorful as the movie goes on.
Jesus. So, all right. Then what happens when he leaves her house the next morning? He goes and meets bum fight guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the bum fights guy that he saw on his way into town. And one for one, it's bum fights. That's
if anyone
what
remembers
it is.
bum fights, this is basically bum fights.
Yeah, from before they got shut down, before the guy went to jail. It's just
Thankfully,
yeah,
that guy was a piece of shit.
yeah, he was a scumbag. There's just a guy with a camcorder who's like paying hobos to or bums. He's a hobo; those are bums, and just paying them to like beat the shit out of each other
Or
with
do
weapons.
degrading shit to
Right.
themselves. And he makes
And so
Rutger Hauer. What did he make him do?
he well he goes up to him and he's like, "Hey man, you want to make $10?" And then it just cuts to a view from inside the camcorder, smashing a bottle over his head. He's like, "Ugh," and the guy's like holding up the money, and he's like, "All right, now I want you to chew the glass." He's like, "Put your head down and chew the glass. Don't even think about getting this money until you chew that glass."
They made him smile for the camera.
You want me to do what?
And made him pick up the money with his bloody ass mouth.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
he's
I
like,
understand.
you're a good dog. You earned your money today. Because he was trying to save up $50 to buy a lawnmower. See, that's all the hobo wanted. He just wanted the chance to make his own living.
We glossed over the lawnmower. Yes, he walks by a store window and sees the lawnmower that he has delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you want to do lawns in this fucking town?
Well, he was new.
You should have stayed on that train, Rutger Hauer. You should have stayed on that train.
Yeah.
Mistakes
But
were made.
like he's not like a bum who doesn't want to do anything. Remember, he was trying to make a sign and he couldn't think of what he wanted to say. No, he wants the lawnmower so he can make a living, an honest living.
The Price is Right.
The Price is Right. And so that's the only reason why he does the bum fights, so he can make the money to buy the lawnmower. And so he goes to the pawn shop for the lawnmower and he's trying it out.
Chew that ass.
I'll eat your ass. I will. I'll eat it.
Ew.
That's a Alex Jones line.
That's an Alex Jones line because it sounds like it could have been a line from this movie.
It does. No, it's a Alex Jones.
I'll eat it.
Quote. I'll eat your ass.
You do a pretty good Alex Jones.
I've heard it many times. And so he's checking out the lawnmower. He's like so happy that he could finally buy it. You can tell he's like moving the parts around and he's like, yes, finally, I can make an honest living. And then what happens?
Robbery. Bunch of
Everybody down.
crackheads and ski masks.
Yeah.
Pointing a gun in a baby's face. Kill the baby! Literally screaming, kill that baby! Whoever wrote the fucking movie, I would never hire this man to write. I wouldn't even hire him to fucking write a note to a fucking UPS guy.
Yeah. Everybody's like a sadistic sociopath.
This is the type of guy like if you were to look up baseball, like let's say you want to watch highlights of a baseball game that happened that you missed earlier today, right? He's the type of guy that would be in the chat like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill all the Jews. I'm gonna
Oh my god!"
Off. Like he's that type of guy. Whoever wrote this movie, seek some help.
Someone from War Campaign.
Seek some help. Whoever wrote this movie.
Yeah. And so they're robbing the pawn shop, and the guy at the register has all the money laid out on the table with his hands up in the air. He's like, one of the robbers is yelling at him. He's like, oh, that's all there is, man. That's all the money. And you get the feeling he might shoot him anyway. What do you say?
Gangster Hobo sounds like fun.
I have to watch this tomorrow. Gangsta Hobo sounds fun.
Gangsta Hobo.
I will eat my neighbors.
Did he really say he was going to eat his neighbor?
I don't think so. That sounds more like a Mike Tyson line.
No, Mike
I
Tyson
would
said
eat
you eat your children.
I'm going to eat your children.
Allegedly.
And
Children's.
What?
Can't eat your children's.
I'm gonna eat the
I'm glad he
children's.
appreciated that line. Yeah. And so as the place is being robbed, the only one not having a gun pointed at him is the hobo, who's off in the front window checking out the lawnmower. And we get that iconic pawn shop moment, kind of, which made me think a little bit of Pulp Fiction, when Bruce Willis is escaping the pawn shop.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he looks up at the wall and sees, a
Well,
gun.
You know what I liked about that scene in Pulp Fiction?
Hmm.
I like how he went down the line of what he was going to use to go down there.
Yeah. Which
Well,
makes
It
you
was
think
a
of,
baseball bat, then a chainsaw, then it was the katana.
yeah. So,
But-
which at first makes you think of like a gangster movie with the baseball bats, and then you think of like
Yeah.
a horror movie.
He looks up and sees the shotgun right away.
Yep. The same price as the lawnmower, $49.99.
So the hobo got his shotgun finally.
Yep. The next thing you see, you don't see him take it off the wall. You just see him looking at it, and it cuts back and forth to him and the shotgun, and him and the shotgun.
See him filling it up with shells either.
Nope.
In fact, we never see how he got all his endless amount of shells.
Nope. We never see him buy ammo in the movie.
Or at least take it from the store, you know?
Right. And so the one of the robbers is pointing a gun at the clerk and at the woman with the baby.
One of the morons is literally screaming, "Kill the baby!" Like an over-the-top crackhead. Kill the baby! There were too many children in this movie. That's like,
Yes.
there were way too many children in this movie.
Yeah.
That baby was a legit fucking crying. That baby was. I
He's a
mean,
real
I,
held a
baby.
gun to her head.
I mean, I know that. Oh no, really? I didn't watch the movie.
You didn't like the movie.
I'm just saying, like,
That
like, they
was
should.
horrible.
The baby was legit crying. Like, that's kind of an asshole thing to do in Hollywood when you have a newborn. Like, it's one thing if you're gonna have a baby in a scene and the baby's gonna be sleeping or just laying there. But when you like, so what does that mean? Does that mean that the director has to disturb the baby enough so it starts bawling its eyes out?
Well, if you wait long enough, the baby will cry anyway. I hope.
I hope they're not really screaming in a baby's face that they're gonna shoot it.
Yeah.
I mean, I always heard the thing that, what did they use when they're doing cocaine? Like, it was
Lactose. Yep. Hollywood cocaine. Or movie cocaine.
So I hope
There's
your
a lot of,
theory is correct, that they just wait for the baby to just start getting uncomfortable and crying. Instead of, shoving a fucking 45 in a baby's face, saying you're gonna shoot it.
yeah. And right when you think he's going to shoot the baby, you just see the barrel of a shotgun in his face.
Shh.
Thank you, Manticore.
Manticore said you.
And
Like, all
then does
the
he give him
killers
a...
are all the time.
That's their technique. 5 instead of every movie, sniffing baby.
Does he give a one-liner before he blows the robber's head off?
I'm gonna build back better.
Come on, man. That's a bunch of malarkey.
Malarkey.
Oh, you know what? Actually,
Actually,
So then we get our hobo shotgunning people, and he
fuck
fucking
some people up.
before he kills the last guy. Ooh, did someone just do something?
I just
Yeah.
got shot. Take cover.
I got that one.
Amazingly, that noise did not come from here in the Bronx right now.
Oh, like those
Detroit.
sirens. I heard police sirens and I thought it was in the movie.
It went right by my house.
Hold on.
I'm
The cops
next
is
to the
here.
highway too. I got the street and then the highway right next to my window.
I got bears outside.
Are you shooting bears right now?
Maybe? No. It's not hunting season. I don't have a license. I don't have a gun. What are you talking about?
Rabbit Cleveland.
Bear thief.
Skittle season.
It's
There were no bears.
that's a real turning point of the movie, though, when he kills his first criminal.
He kills what, like 3 or 4 of them? Well, how many are robbing the place?
I thought it was only 2. I remember there's a yellow mask and a red mask.
Well, he kills all of them, and you're like, good for the hobo. Darius is literally cheering every fucking shotgun blast.
Oh yeah, I was loving it, and everyone else flees. What, Carol?
He had so much ammunition. Like he put in a cheat code or something.
Yeah, infinite ammo. He's got the bandana.
Or he's
New
got
Game Plus.
got one of those shotguns that makes its own shells.
Yeah. So everybody flees the pawn shop except for the hobo and the clerk. And of course, the hobo is a good guy, an honest guy. He took the shotgun off the wall, and so he gives the money on the bun fights. Yep. He says, keep the change, which I think is a penny. But he tells him to keep the change.
And then
and the clerk is like, oh, Buck. End scene.
We get kind of like a montage of him saving the streets.
Yep.
Where there's legit a hooker doing her homework on her,
yeah.
porch, and the pimp runs up and grabs her hand. He's like, stop doing your homework. He legit says, stop doing your homework.
Yeah, he's a pimp in a do-rag and a big fur coat. And he's like, stop doing your homework. Make me some money, bitch.
And we see her face is all beat up too.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks real. That girl looked real fucking. That girl looks like she was like fucking 14 years old or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then as he's dragging her away, he turns his head right into the barrel of a shotgun. And what was the line that he gives him?
Something stupid? I don't know. I'll just sum it up by saying something stupid and corny.
But first he tells the young hooker, he's like, go home.
Yeah.
And then she screams and runs away.
There's so much screaming in that.
Oh, the pedo Santa. The pedo Santa.
Oh God, I forgot. Oh. Yeah.
No, how can you forget about pedo Santa?
Because I don't like thinking about that. Yeah, there's the Santa Claus in full costume driving around the city in a car, and you just see he pulls up next to a playground, and he looks out the window.
Binoculars. He's got binoculars.
Yeah, he's got binoculars.
Or dressed as Santa.
Yep, and then
and some nasty fucking shit.
Yeah, he starts beating it, and we're like, oh. Yep. And then you see the barrel of a shotgun pops in through the window.
The blood splatters were cool in this. I'll say that much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think he gave the Santa Claus some kind of line, and then you just see from the other side of the car, and then just blood all over the window.
People in your neighborhood are gonna think you're fucking shooting a gun in your living room.
And and when he killed the Santa Claus, I thought of Tommy. Just so you know, Tommy, I thought of you when he did that.
He kills a couple other people in that that little spree he has. I forget what else it was.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, there was the pimp. It was there was someone before the pimp.
It was someone before the pimp. I remember there was someone before the pimp.
But I remember the last one was the bum fights guy.
Oh, yeah.
He finds the bum fights guy and makes him eat the videotape.
He didn't kill him though, right? Didn't he just hit him with the butt of his gun?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
don't think he killed him. I think he just cracked him in the face with the shotgun.
yeah, I think so. Because like the bum fights guy didn't actually murder anyone or
No, but he
know.
definitely was a part of the problem.
He was definitely part of the problem. Tommy. So much blood in and around your mouth. Tommy says, nothing wrong with that. Santa's cheap ass has to go. Yeah.
I didn't say it.
And not in this case, it wasn't because he was cheap. He was doing some real nasty Mickey Mouse shit.
Some Mickey Mouse shit?
Yeah, you know, stuff that only happens at Disney. Or on Epstein Island.
Yeah, he was basically a Christmas party Santa on Epstein Island, you could say.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Izzy. I hope you got some sleep last night.
And so yeah, the hobo is cleaning up the streets, and you see headlines on the newspaper.
What is he doing though? How is he delivering justice?
One shell at a time. It says hobo what does it say, like hobo takes to the streets with a shotgun, demands change.
They stops asking for handouts, demands change, or something like that.
Yeah, demands change. I thought that was a good pun. And then
the headlines were better than the actual dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. Hobo demands change. And then parent
showing the different headlines, like, you know, it was like what they were doing in Spider-Man, where you kind of see the constant headlines.
Yeah. And it said parents smile as bodies pile.
Oh man, I think who wrote the headlines is a different person from who wrote the dialogue.
Yeah, they actually hired a writer for that. The rest are just contest entries.
So
the Drake is watching TV, and he's watching the news broadcast about the hobo who's taking out the crime in the city.
He's also angry that the hobo got the drop on Slick.
Oh yeah. How did he get the drop on Slick? Because it happens all at the same time.
He got the drop on Slick in the hobo beat, the hobo torturing club.
Oh right.
And he knocked Slick out and dragged him to the precinct.
Right, yeah. So that's how he got Slick in the first place. Yeah, he knocked him out, dragged him to the police station, and says, lock him up with the sodomites. And then he told the chief that he needed to step up his game. But
Slick, you know, that's when we realized that the cops were in on it too, when Slick came in the interrogation room.
Yeah, he just busts in the door. Yeah.
Way back from what we were talking about.
Yeah, and then he carves Scum into the hobo's chest, throws him in the...
Oh, we forgot that Slick and his moron brother kill a busload of kids.
No, wait. Well, that didn't happen until after Drake gets mad about the news broadcast and the hobo.
Yeah,
and then he calls Slick, and he's like, he tells him, he's like, he asks him a question about something, and he's like, it was just some bum, man.
They're like, we cut him up, and he's like, still upset that they just cut him up and didn't kill him.
Right. He's like, yeah, you didn't kill him.
Oh
He's
wait,
just some bum.
Also, in the background, let's talk about what's going on in the background.
Oh, yeah. So at the Drake's very, very blue lair, there's as background.
It was blue. It was blue.
It was extremely blue. And as just background entertainment, there's just some guy, some shirtless guy hanging upside down from the ceiling who's got like tape over his mouth.
Like a fucking pinata.
Yeah, and then there's
a bunch of naked girls bashing him with a baseball bat.
Yeah, they're all laughing and just beating him. Yeah, he's covered in blood, and they're like, ha 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 ha.
This is all going on in the background in like a 3-minute conversation.
Yeah, while he's on the phone with his son. I think it's implied that the 3 women were on cocaine because they're in the movie. It just makes you really happy.
Yeah, it turns you into a laughing, running around idiot. You know?
Yeah. So they're just like, ha ha ha, just beating this guy. He's still alive, and they're just hitting him with baseball bats.
And he's having a conversation with his sons while this is going on in the background. And during the conversation, you hear it in the bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
Amp's fantasy. Yeah. It was.
And then was his other son there? Ivan?
Yeah, and Ivan kept saying stuff, and he kept telling him to shut up and put his head down. Because the Drake did not seem to like Ivan at all.
Drake didn't like anybody.
See later. No, he loved Slick.
That was his favorite son.
Slick, yeah, he even says it was his favorite son.
In front of Ivan.
Yeah, right in front of Ivan. Ivan didn't seem to get upset about that when he said it either. Like they didn't cut to Ivan's face and like see like a depressed look on his face.
Yep. And so
Ivan also walks around and gets into street fights wearing ice skates.
Yes.
He murders He murders not a news reporter on the street. He murders a news anchor like in the studio by throwing an ice skate in his chest. Live TV.
And the Drake shows him how to cover a baseball bat with razor blades. And you know what you get?
And then
you get a baseball bat covered in razor blades.
And the pinata in the background finally gets broken.
Yeah. They hit the dangling man with the baseball bat covered in razor blades, and you see his guts spill out all over the ground, and then the blood sprays all over the 3 women, and they think it is quite delightful.
Nobody does expect a hobo with a shotgun.
No,
we're expecting a hobo with a lawnmower if we think that things are going to happen.
Or James, he said, or a Ryan Johnsonless production, or I get it, Johnsonless, meaning he has no Johnson. Took me a sec. Or a Ryan Johnsonless production, or a James, let me touch your gun production. I get it.
James, let me touch your gun.
Oh, or a take it up there, what titty? Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He does Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore is a fucking news anchor. But he throws the skate at the dude like a ninja star.
Yeah.
Like a ninja? Or a ninja?
Yeah. Against the ninja.
Against the ninja. Or what was it Tommy and I were singing the one time? Cocaine Ninja.
Cocaine Ninja.
Yeah, that's one thing this movie didn't have. Cocaine ninjas.
No. It didn't have vampires, cocaine ninjas. It didn't have...
but it had a hobo with a shotgun.
See, I wouldn't... Would you say it had robots? Because that dude had a robot voice. One of the pigs had a robot voice. So.
They were
cybernetic.
They were questionably robots, but they'd been around for 2,000 years. It's implied.
No, it's also implied that it's not just 2 people. It's people who have given a mantle to hold through the years because. Spoiler alert! If one of them gets killed, whoever kills them has to take their place in this plague.
Right.
So it implied, it's implied they killed Jesus, Abraham Lincoln, the Easter Bunny, and I can't remember what else they had on the wall
Yeah.
while they're beating up on a fucking octopus in their dungeon.
Yeah. That's like their kill list.
we
All
get into-
framed
Since we're
portraits.
talking about them now, let's get into these guys.
I know they were your favorite part of the movie. I think the octopus is also implying that they're like a Lovecraftian force. That they're not so much robots as they were not created by man. There's some kind of unexplained supernatural phenomenon, right? They live in a castle.
That one with the fucking head that looks like a fucking old school radiator. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy has like every time. It's not even like every time he moves or every time. It's not like every time the camera moves to him, he makes that. Like it's not like he's doing that on its own. It's like it seems like a noise is coming from him.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was just his voice.
It made me think he's cybernetic or something.
Right. But maybe like a Lovecraftian robot, some kind of ancient space cyborg who lives in a castle with a drawbridge.
They ride motorcycles,
dragging a coffin.
That's how I get around town.
I'm saying these guys, they should have made a whole movie about these guys with their noose guns.
Yeah. So Slasher's like, oh yeah, they have noose guns, and I couldn't quite remember, but no, they do. They're kind of like they're part. Yeah, they're part harpoon gun, and they'll shoot a
gun with a noose.
a harpoon gun with a noose. So they'll put the noose around your neck, then they point the gun straight up into the ceiling and fire the harpoon, which goes up through the ceiling, and then it reels you in and hangs you.
Weapon to use, that's the type of weapon you have to use if someone is already down. Like you can't. And it was working that way because the other part of the plague, I can't remember their names. The one who got killed was Grinder, I think. Because you killed Grinder, you have to now join the plague.
Oh, see, I didn't even hear that part. And they do impale people with like swords and like flat tip swords.
The other one was slashing people's like tendons from the back while they were running away from him.
Yeah.
That's how the other dude was able to use the noose gun.
Right. Yes. They'd chop tendons or stab you, knock you down, and then they'd put the noose around your neck and hang you from the ceiling.
And he does this to what, like 4 people? 3 or 4 people?
Yeah. Well, but they call them in after. So when the Drake gets infuriated about hearing about the hobo with the shotgun.
Oh, well, actually, all right. Before the plague is introduced, Slick is dead. Slick dies.
Well, yeah.
The hobo kills Slick.
Right. So they want to prove themselves to their father by doing horrible things. So they the next thing you see, they're getting on a school bus full of children wielding flamethrowers. And they're like, "Hey kids, do you like what do they ask them? Do you like candy? And do you like
Yeah, he's just asking them a bunch of questions.
Do you like this? Yeah. Do you like that? Yeah. Do you like hobos? Yeah. Right? Because the citizens love the hobo with the shotgun because he's cleaning up the streets. But the kids say they love him, and he's like, no!
I hate hobos.
I hate hobos.
Even like that. He says it like that. Like, I hate hobos.
Yeah. And then he just torches the entire school bus full of children with his this evil grin in his eyes.
And his idiot brother is playing Disco Inferno.
Oh, yeah, with the boombox. He's got the boombox. Yeah. And then this movie's so over the top that while the school bus is burning, you even see like a charred child
Yeah, at the back window of the school bus.
Yeah, just like banging against the window.
Jesus. Yeah, they're way too, they have kids way too involved in this movie. It's like,
Yeah. And right, because they're trying to re-exert their dominance over the city and prove themselves to their father. Father was disappointed in them for not killing the hobo. And so he puts out a news broadcast over all the TVs, which we see in a TV store, to all the citizens of the city who are gathered around the window. And he says he wants everyone to
unite against the homeless, because anyone homeless could be the hobo with the shotgun. So you gotta kill all the homeless people. He's gonna give everyone his broads if they do.
whoever brings me the hobo with a shotgun gets my broads. He's got like 2 or 3 women that are on his arm.
His broads that beat people with baseball bats topless.
Right. The funny thing about that is most of the people watching that broadcast were women, like mothers and children.
TV, when you see them watching from the window of the store with the TV, it's a bunch of moms with like their kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say get the fuck out of that city. I'd say don't live there anymore.
Right. Well, yeah, he sort of gets out of there and darts around the corner. And so somebody follows him and Abby back to her apartment because the brothers bust in on him at Abby's apartment.
Do you remember the line that Ivan says while he's walking up with his skates?
No.
It's a doozy. Carol.
Ned?
You know this one?
What, it's a doozy?
No, what he says. He says it's while he's walking with his ice skates. He says, it's a good day for a skate rape.
A skate rape?
Womp womp.
I think I missed that one.
That's what this writer was on. That's his wavelength. That's what this motherfucker was going for. Knocking it out of the park. Line by line, knocking it out of the park. Good for you, buddy.
And so I stepped out of the room for less than a minute to grab some food. And when I came back, was it Slick's was being electrocuted?
Yeah. Well, Slick is they raid the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Because Abby and Hobo are gonna leave. Finally smart people who decide to leave this godforsaken city.
Like Manticore said, they were gonna get the fuck out of Dodge.
But here comes Ivan and Slick. Ivan kicks down the door with his ice skates and starts fucking martial arts kicking and stomping the hobo with his ice skates, cutting him up. And Slick grabs Abby and has her in the other room, is legit sawing her head off.
Oh yeah, with a hacksaw.
Cut her throat.
Yeah, he's already starting to cut her head off with a hacksaw. And she's like, ah!
And then stupid ass Hobo. But stupid ass Hobo in his fight with Ivan in the other room, he doesn't hit, he's just hitting him with the shotgun. I mean, I know that he was getting fucked up, so he had to do what he had to do, swinging the shotgun at him. But all right, well, he gets electrocuted too, but he should have finished him off with. He let Ivan go. He should have killed Ivan too.
Oh yeah. It was Ivan that got electrocuted, and his hand gets all burned up.
Ivan ends up kicking a toaster with the fucking skate, and
his hand gets burnt to a crisp.
And he came.
Yeah, and he's like, and he's more upset. He's more upset that the hobo made him come than that his hand is now useless.
He made me come.
He made me come.
So Ivan,
You know why, Carol? Because technically, since it was a man that made him electrocute himself until he came, technically, that's gay.
Yeah, he's on the right side of that line.
That's
No,
why Ivan was so upset.
He crossed the Dillard line.
Across the Dillard line.
Should play
Yeah.
that song.
so the hobo saves Abby from getting decapitated.
How would you know that it ain't no joke, Manicore?
Well, she only got half decapitated.
Yeah, half decapitated. Not even. I wouldn't even say capitated.
Semi-capitated.
A little
She got a
capitation.
scratch.
A little capitation.
A little
Minor
cap-
minor capitation.
I'm just making shit up now.
I mean, you don't have to be technical about it. I'd say minor capitation. Yeah, but can you get all right?
Elaborate on that.
Is it possible? Is it possible to get electrocuted and come?
Probably.
Why don't we ask LDG? He'll tell us.
Well, you got to start slow. Just attach the battery to your nipples. You got to ease into it.
So you hear. No.
Well, anyway, the hobo made Ivan come.
Poor hobo.
And roast his hand.
Now
And
he's
his
never
foot.
doing it.
His chin too. Remember his chin was burnt for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So hobo saves Abby from the semi-capitation and duct tapes the shotgun to Slick's balls
Yes.
and forces Ivan out of. He tells him to go. He should have just killed Ivan too. I don't know. Why didn't you just kill Ivan too?
I don't know. Because the shotgun was duct taped to Slick's balls?
Who'd you like better, Carol, Ivan or Slick?
Oh no, they're both pretty special.
Pretty special.
They were both pretty special.
Slick looked like Tom Holland, and Ivan looked like what's his name from Jackass? Not Steve-O.
Johnny Knoxville?
Johnny Knoxville, yeah. He looked kind of like Johnny Knoxville.
I don't know. To me, Ivan looked like tall Tom Cruise. Like, especially when Tom Cruise, like when you have the sunglasses and Risky Business, you look like tall Tom Cruise.
Okay, if Ivan looked like Tom Cruise, then Slick looked like Christian Bale.
See, I thought Slick looked like the dude from The Big Bang Theory, Roseanne, that dude.
Oh, Johnny Galecki.
I thought he looked like him.
Okay, I can see that.
Or like a second rate him. Like, if
Like
you can't.
like a jock version of him.
Yeah, like, or if like you were making a movie and you wanted to hire Johnny Galecki, but he was booked up for something else, and okay, then you get this guy. He sure shit didn't act like him though.
No,
He was Johnny Galecki ever act the way this dude acted.
He was better looking than Johnny Galecki. No offense to Johnny Galecki.
Oh, shots fired at Johnny Galecki.
Like the sons, the brothers, they were handsome, but they were like such horrible pieces of shit.
And they were both god awful actors. I'm sure they were told to overact in the movie. I mean, with when they read the scripts, if there was scripts, do you think that there was improv going on with this bullshit?
Yeah, oh yeah.
They were making it up as they went along.
Yeah, probably. And that's what provides contrast to Rutger Hauer's acting as the hobo. Everyone else is overacting so hard that
into all these deep, like low tone like, right? He's like everything.
Yeah, well, because he's much more subdued than any other character, except maybe Abby.
He's the only non-cartoon character in this fucking movie.
Right.
Although
he's pretty chill.
Abby's not really a cartoon either. Everyone else is a fucking cartoon.
Yeah. And so he's got the shotgun taped to Slick's balls. And Slick is like, what's he say? No, don't do it.
And bye Slick's balls. Bye, Slick.
He has some kind of line though. The hobo gives him a line.
Well, I forget the hobos. Carol, you're way behind on these lines.
I'm sorry. Tired. Don't yell at me.
Carol,
What did he say to Slick?
You gotta say every single line from this movie. Every single one-liner.
I closed the thing, Majigger.
He probably said something like time for a weenie roast. And then
I'm gonna wash away my blood with your blood.
And he just blows Slick's dick off.
And Slick still has time to call his dad while he's dying.
From a payphone.
His dick getting blown off with a shotgun. And you see a big mangled mess.
Yeah, a big mangled mess of flesh hanging out of the crotch of his pants.
The one dude said they're gonna make a comic out of my hate crimes.
Out of my hate crimes.
Oh, yeah. He's like, they're going to make comic books out of my hate crimes.
But, you can't solve all the world's problems with a shotgun. You do better, Manticore. Fuck.
So he calls the Drake, his father, from the payphone as he's like slumped down on the ground. And at first they're just talking.
Carol, stop commenting. Just say what you gotta say to Manticore.
I don't know.
I'm trying to click on all the comments and your comments.
Sorry, I'm leaving.
Do better.
Through this place.
And then he starts hallucinating. Slick sees this charred up school bus still on fire.
Still smoking.
Yep, pulls up right in front of him, and he suddenly realizes that he's about to die. And he's like, "Thanks, Dad." He's like, "Yeah, you're a pretty rad dad." And then he hangs up and he gets on the school bus, and as it pulls away,
then he becomes the kid that's burning in the back of the school bus window.
Right. The school bus is going to carry him off to hell where he belongs. So I guess he bled out.
Well, we don't actually get to see how he does that, Manticore, because all of a sudden he comes out of the room where he's got like a duct tape diaper around Slick's balls with the shotgun attached to it. We don't what the fuck happened? Because while that's going on, Ivan is in the other room waking up from getting electrocuted
and coming
and getting his hand turned into fucking bubbles.
Right, but Ivan survives this whole thing.
Well, not the whole movie.
No, not the whole movie, but Slick is dead, carried off to hell.
Thankfully.
And a lot of the bums in the town have been rounded up and killed by the citizens. And so Ivan makes it back to the Drakes and tells them about what happened. And the Drake realizes that he's got to call in the specialist. We all know that moment in a movie like this where, the gangster calls in the specialist. In the Boondock Saints, it was Il Duce. You don't call in this guy unless you're absolutely sure you need him. But the Drake feels it's time. And that's when he calls the plague.
And that's
at their Gothic castle.
They get out of their castle with their coffin and their motorcycles. And raid the hospital. Start murdering the hospital staff left and right.
Right, because the hobo, that's a good point, because the hobo took Abby, whose head was half cut off. He took her straight to the hospital He's like, save this girl's life.
Turned her into a peasant.
Right. And the doctor and the nurse are trying everything to save her life. They got her neck all bandaged up and they're doing surgery and they're trying to keep her alive. And he says, live, you whore!
Yeah. She legit says, live, you whore, while she's trying to save her.
Yeah, the doctor says that, right?
Live, you cocksucking piece of shit, you.
Live, you fuck tube!
Fuck you.
You filthy little fuck tube.
Oh my gosh.
And Abby makes it. But Abby makes it. She's lost so much blood.
Yeah, but she survives.
From the semi-complications.
Yep. And the hobo visits her and brings her a tiny little pot with some half-dead dandelions. And she says, they're beautiful.
And then it's more bonding time.
Yeah, it was a touching moment.
Abby.
Until
the plague raided the hospital. Well, first he's giving a speech first the hobo's giving a speech to all the babies in the nursery.
Oh yeah, that is a good moment.
He's giving a touching speech. It's like a 5-minute speech to the babies in the nursery. Just looking
Yeah, he just sees them behind the glass, all in their little cribs. And he's like, yeah, you're all going to have a chance to, grow up and,
Be a hobo.
live your lives. But not if you grow up here.
Shooting dope in the streets.
You'll end up selling your bodies. Shooting dope with a dirty needle. You got to get away from here.
And then
we were legit worried that the babies were all going to get murdered.
Yeah, I was saying, it's like, let's not have any more flaming babies.
Yeah.
They already killed the baby, and there was a mother in the dumpster when the Drake when he first put out his APB on Hobo. You missed it for a second. There was like a mini like another montage again but it was the citizens killing the homeless people for Drake's broads. And there was a mom hiding out in a dumpster with her baby, and this dude's looking at her holding a Molotov, and he's like looking at her for a good amount of seconds, but then he just throws the Molotov at her.
Yeah,
that's right.
Movie.
Brutal. So the plague, they're coming after the hobo at the hospital. They just know he's there, right? And they're stabbing people, cutting tendons, and hanging them from the ceiling with the noose gun.
Noose gun.
And they're hiding in they're hiding in Abby's room when Hobo comes in. They beat the fuck out of him and drag him out of the hospital. Instead of just killing him, because the Drake wants to make an example of him.
Yep. Hey, you know what I realized that we forgot was when the two cops were trying to pick up Abby earlier.
Oh yeah.
And the one that was like, I can smell your asshole. And he's like,
he gets with multiple shotgun blasts.
Well, she tells him, sorry, my legs are closed for the evening. And that's what he's like, you're just a fuck tube.
Dude.
And he tells
introduction of fuck tube, yes. Okay.
And so the gross cop gets out of the car and he tells the other cop, the kid, to go back to the station, and he chases Abby down the street, right? And of course the hobo shows up and he's like, hey, don't do it, man. I'm a cop. But he shoots him. And that was the moment.
Wait, how many times though? He unloads.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He just keeps
he turns into like a cracked open crab shell.
Yeah. And Abby's screaming, her face is covered in cop blood, and she's like, stop. And that was when the mob, the people that have been rounding up and killing the hobos and the bums, They're coming down. They're like an angry mob, like coming after Frankenstein. They've all got weapons and stuff. They're running down toward the alley, and she's like, he's getting ready. He's getting shotgun ready to take them all out. And she's like, no, they're not bad people. They're just scared. And so that might be this exact moment in the movie. So they look over at like this, it's like you would have at the hospital, like the big bin full of like towels and waste and stuff. And
well, they're looking back and forth between that and the dude's fucking destroyed body from the shot.
Yeah, dude, he's like, meat now and guts.
Turned inside out, basically.
Yeah. And so then you see the mob coming around the corner, and she is pushing this cart with the cop's corpse with all the guts hanging out, and she's screaming, and everyone just lets her pass through. And sure enough, when they get past the mob,
the body was a smash grab. Yeah, the entire body.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, he was gone, and you just see the hobo stands up right through the middle of the body. And all the guts sort of part on either side of him.
Cop has a good nose. What is that?
Oh, because he can smell her asshole.
Oh. Oh, okay.
He's just seeing Rutger Hauer, covered in guts and trash, just stand up in the middle of his body. It was quite a moment.
And they're looking back and forth between the body and the cart, the body and the cart. It was like a Looney Tunes moment.
Yeah, like what they're thinking. They make sure that you know what they're thinking.
She comes out covered in blood, running with the cart with the dead body on top of it. He's
Bring
back,
out your dead.
He's back there.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah. So she tells the mob that the hobo is back there, so that they just chase after him, and that's how they get away. Winston Wolfe. Yes, Manticore. Exactly. In Pulp Fiction, it's Winston Wolfe. Calling in the professional. He's like, shit, Ninja. You're sending the wolf? That's all you had to say. Click. 9 minutes and 45 seconds later.
So let's talk about the rest, because there's I'd say what the plague is about the last 15 minutes of this movie. Did you say 15 minutes?
Yeah, probably that.
So they drag him to the Drake in a coffin on the back of their motorcycles.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, though. I like that. They should have. I'm gonna keep saying they should have made the whole movie about just these guys.
Everything about them was cool. Yeah, they had like spikes and armor.
They lived in a
noose guns.
They lived in a castle.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, and they come right out of their castle on motorcycles in their armor. They have robot voices.
Yeah.
They have interesting weaponry.
Yep, and they have like a Cthulhu living there.
I like them.
They're like the assassins of history.
The only thing I didn't like was that they were working with the Drake. They should have killed him. Fuck the Drake. They should have killed his ass.
Yeah, what do these guys need human money for?
Why do they need the Drake?
Oh, hey, a lasso of truth.
Oh. Hello. Hello, lasso of truth. And Carol, you're quoting Samuel Jackson in the comics again?
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
So they take him to the Drake at the Blue headquarters
for another episode of Drake TV, or whatever he calls it, the Drake Show.
Yeah, it's not Degrassi, but there's it's kind of like in like a 80s or 90s warehouse. Yeah, and there's
you would think from like a scene from Kickboxer or something.
Yeah, and there is a crowd gathered up on like a second floor watching from over the railing,
all screaming for the blood of the hobo.
Yep.
And the Drake is putting on his whole showman, fucking yeah.
Right, because he loves attention.
Yeah.
He always wants an audience. In fact, he doesn't like it when his son does something to get attention.
Sniveling little asshole he is.
Yep.
It's good we get to see his comeuppance.
Yeah. In fact, he even shoots Ivan at one point. He's like, "No one upstages the Drake."
Oh, last one.
Ivan being the only family member that he has left, as far as we know.
Well, he really seemed to not like him in the beginning.
Mhm.
So when he was listening to everything Slick had to say, and then when Ivan said something, he legit told while they're beating the dude in the background with the baseball bats, while the girls with their tits out are beating the dude with the baseball bats.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps telling Ivan to put his head down, and he says multiple times like, "You don't have the potential your brother does," all that shit. So Slick is like leaps and bounds ahead of Ivan on the favoritism, and Ivan's dead. So, and he asked the plague. He's like, "What do you guys think?" And one of them says to the Drake, "Replaceable."
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, because when they brought
they actually seem to have sway over the Drake, because he asked them like, because the girl all right, that was all right. When did she pop up with the fucking? Because we forgot that she raided the store and got all the fucking weaponry. She built some crazy ass shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When she got out of the hospital,
I forgot to mention that Ivan went to the castle and high-fived the octopus.
yeah.
But yeah, so she's building like an arsenal. So she's becoming like a Rambo.
Yeah, she has a Rambo moment. She definitely has a Rambo moment.
Right. And so in fact, the plague even said like, "Do you want to see him?" And Ivan was like, No, I trust you guys. Besides, I can smell him from here."
You know what's cool though? The plague was kind enough to give him a light for his cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah,
While
he had a cigarette.
out of an octopus and crossing off his picture that they killed him.
Yeah, between Jesus and Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. And I swear I think the Easter Bunny was up there too.
I think so. Hey, Fed.
Hey, Fed.
Yeah, and so they put a manhole cover around his neck, just like at the very beginning.
Oh,
Here, Kel.
Hello again, Raquel. We're almost near the end of talking about this movie.
Yeah. And of course the Drake drops him in the hole. You hear the so now his head is just sticking out. What'd you say, Slasher?
Oh, you hear the crunch?
Yeah.
And they're the plague now are gonna do the beheading with the noose from the sewer decapitation, whatever you want to call it. Like a manhole cover they wrap around your head to drop you in the glory hole. They call it the glory.
Oh yeah, they called it the glory. Put him in the glory hole.
Not the fuck tube. The glory hole.
Not the fuck tube,
Yep,
no.
right. Big difference.
Big difference.
In fact, the fuck tube never ends up in the glory hole.
No, the fuck tube gets him out of the glory hole.
Right. Oh, wow. Metaphor.
Wow.
She saves him from the glory hole.
The fuck tube will get you out of the glory hole.
Fucking fuck tube.
With its nub.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was awful.
So she shows up and starts wrecking shit and
well, she kills one of the fucking plague. She just jumps on one of the plague with the lawnmower fan shield she made. And destroys him. The sparks flying everywhere and shit.
Fucking
Oh
lawnmower.
wait,
But the Drake catches her.
well, also she jumps off the truck, and while the other plague member is going to decapitate him on the bike with the
Oh yeah, yeah. And the rope is coiled up. He's driving away.
she jumps off the truck and snaps it with an axe.
Saving his life.
My hero.
And then gets into a fight with the Drake. The Drake sticks her hand into the fucking the lawnmower shield she's made.
Yeah.
that was
And you just see her hand just turns into like jello.
Stump bone nub, like whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you want to call it. But apparently it's a lethal weapon though.
Yeah. So yeah, like half of her forearm is also gone, but up to the wrist is still there, just razor sharp bone sticking out.
And stab on the Drake with the
Yeah.
bone nub.
stab.
Yeah, she stabs him with the bone
With her nub.
her own nub.
Bone splinter nub.
Hook her with
Like,
a nub.
like Wolverine when he had the bone claws.
Yeah.
But it's just one
Yeah. So he's down,
nub.
but he's not dead yet. But he's still lying there full of holes. And how does the hobo get out of the manhole?
He pulls him by his hair out of the manhole and uses her power nub to get him out of the, like, uses it like a fucking crowbar or a tire iron. Like,
Oh yeah.
and she's screaming in fucking pain while she's. She did a good job in this movie. This chick, I thought she was.
Yeah, it's the #1 movie she's known for on IMDb.
Wow.
Number 2 is called Septic Man. 4.1 out of 10.
I would say if I were to be known for one of two movies, I would rather be known for Hobo with a Shotgun
Mm-hmm.
than Septic Man. I have a feeling, just the name Septic Man, I have a feeling it's a lot worse than this movie.
Oh yeah.
Let's watch
Yeah.
it next.
In fact, for every actor in the movie except for Rutger Hauer, this is their #1 movie,
Not a surprise at all.
including the sons, one of whom was from the TV show Everwood.
I've never seen anyone other than Rutger Hauer in anything else. So she gets him out using her nub powers and pulling him by his hair. And
Nub power.
well, yeah, that seemed to give her some sort of superpower. Like, getting her arm hacked off by a fucking lawnmower fan seemed to give her some sort of weird. I guess it's an adrenaline rush. I don't.
Right. Well, remember like Rose McGowan in Planet Terror, where she's like a one-legged hooker and she just puts like a machine gun on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a similar motif to that. So she gets him out with her super strength and leverage.
Power nub.
Power nub. Fuck tube's got a power nub.
Power of the nub.
Right. And the remaining member of the plague says, like, she killed Grinder. She must take his place.
Yeah, that's where we get that. If you kill one of the plague, you must replace them.
Right. But the hobo just
they've been around for a long time because they're,
Mhm.
It was kind of like, like in The Princess Bride. Remember how like the Dread Pirate Robert's mantle is passed around in The Princess Bride?
Yeah, like the Phantom from comic books.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes.
The Dread Pirate Rising?
Roberts?
Yeah, no, she's thinking of somebody else.
Or someone who's named Dread Pirate Rising?
Yeah, sure. Keep going.
But the hobo says no. she will not be joining the plague, and points the shotgun at him, and he just walks away into the mist.
No, the hobo points the shotgun at her.
Yeah. He points the shotgun.
Bloody. She's bloodied on the floor and shit.
Right.
All right. Well,
But
then the asshole cop comes up.
Oh, the chief?
The one who told him every day is trash day for people like you. That guy.
Well, he finds the Drake on the ground is still alive. Full of holes, but still alive.
Yeah.
And he points the shotgun at his face. He rolls him over, face up. Yeah, and the Drake is spouting off some nasty stuff, and he points the shotgun at his face. And the police chief is like, "Don't do it."
And the Drake is all nubbed up, bleeding out on the street. And he is like, "Hey, we're worth this piece of shit, but yeah, you made this entertaining."
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
Other than killing my son, you made this fun.
Right. And he's like, if you weren't such a pain in my ass, I'd be your biggest fan.
Still calling him like a homeless piece of shit, yada yada. He's complimenting him and still being a fucking asshole at the same time.
Yeah. And so he's thinking about it. Like, he's looking at the police chief, pointing the gun at him. He's looking back at the Drake because he really wants to kill the Drake. And
I really wanted to kill the Drake watching this movie.
Yeah. And then you see all the other cops show up, in full gear like SWAT, and they're running up, and they line up, all pointing their guns at the hobo. And so if he shoots the Drake, even though the Drake was probably going to bleed out anyway, but if he shoots the Drake, then the cops will shoot and kill him.
And then we get all of Drake's spectators coming out, revolting against the police.
Right. Because they love the hobo. So they all have guns, of course, and they all point their guns at the police. And it gives the hobo that little bit of strength and hope that he needs. And he blows the Drake's head off.
Hope City.
Yep. And then the cops open fire on the hobo. Right? And they're all like...
Between the cops. Yep, we get a big massacre between the cops and the citizens.
Right. Yeah, because now as the cops are shooting the hobo, then the citizens are shooting the cops. It's a bloodbath. And Abby's screaming. She's like, no! Because she liked hobo.
She was a hooker with a heart of gold, bro.
Yep. Oh, thanks, Lasso.
And then zoom in on hobo dying.
Yeah. R.I.P.
They go right in like on his shotgun though while he's dead on the floor. And credits roll.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot this. He has a great one-liner when he shoots the Drake. Because he's looking at the cops, and then he's looking at the Drake, and then he looks up at the crowd, and he goes, "We're both going to hell tonight. And you're riding shotgun."
That movie was terrible.
This is the best line in the movie. It's the whole movie in one line.
Not the peanuts and the shit one. The peanuts.
No.
Not the best line. I can smell your asshole line. Was not the best one.
Or, "Ooh, I'm going to cut my dick off and rub it on your tits."
Yeah, there was so many good ones.
Banging with Mother Teresa.
Oh, yeah. That was a really complex one, right?
Oh, wait. What was the Mother Teresa one again?
I'm not reading it again.
Yeah, they had two lines going back and forth to each other. Okay.
Right. He says something about... Oh, you're going to make me look it up.
welfare checks from your skin.
Yes.
One to Mother Teresa. Well,
Hobo said something about
banging you in hell.
Hobo said something about welfare checks from his skin. That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my knife to cut welfare checks from your skin. And said something about Mother Teresa, and the hobo gets upset at the mention of Mother Teresa, and he's like, Mother Teresa's a saint.
You know what these were like? They were like really bad, like wrestling promo lines, like that were rejected. like the writer was like, he wrote this and as like a promo for a wrestler, and he's like, nah, that's not good. And he crumples it up and throws it behind his back. It's like someone behind that writer was catching these things before they hit the waste paper basket and was like, oh, I got that one.
Yeah.
Because they were, oh my God, a skate rape? It's time for a skate rape?
Skate rape.
Walking around in ice skates, like karate kicking and stomping people.
Stop doing your homework, bitch. Get out there and make my money.
Fucking shit. Writer, see a therapist, please. I don't know, man.
I'm surprised you didn't tell Santa Claus Christmas will never come again.
To do so much as to throw a fucking pedo Santa watching kids in his car beating it. Are you serious? Like, I know you wanted to go over the top with your shit, obviously. Did you have to go that far over the top?
Yeah, but it takes about 2 or 3 seconds for the hobo to show up.
Did you have to have a busload of burning kids? Did you have to?
Yeah, that.
Did you have to?
with the burning kid in the window? That was extreme.
You could have made this movie without all that shit.
No,
like they got the kid, they got the makeup department to coat the kid in what looked like, black ash and char.
They hired a busload of kids to play these roles. I don't know. How many kids in this movie? You paid a pair of parents to have their fucking baby in a dumpster pretending to be held at Molotov cocktail point. Come on, man. Come on.
What about the parents that agreed to let that happen? Like, yeah, sure, go ahead. You do that to my kid.
If this movie was made 11 years ago, then all those babies in the nursery are like 11-year-old children now.
When I first saw this movie, I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ! This nursery baby is getting killed." I really thought, I was like, "This whole nursery full of babies is not making it out of this movie." From what I've seen so far,
right. They condition you to expect that these babies are not going to make it, but nothing happens. Well, the plague wouldn't kill those babies. That's the thing, is the plague is coming after him in the hospital, not the brothers.
I don't know. Those babies would go pretty far up with that fucking noose gun.
Oh, where's my wah-wah? Oh.
I mean, sorry. But...
No, you're not.
All right. Anyway.
F's in the chat from Manticore.
Anywho. All right. All right. Go into all just like what you overall thought of this, Darius.
This movie was conceived as a way over the top trailer in the middle of Grindhouse. So in between two already over the top homages to 70s Grindhouse films, right? And so these trailers were designed to be even more extreme, more of a send up of the genre than the movies that they were in between, right? And yet we got Hobo with a Shotgun, we got Machete. The movie knew what it was trying to be. It knew what people expected it to be, and I think it was made in a window of time that it could be made, right? Because this was not that long after Snakes on a Plane, and Machete, these B movies. There was love for these old B grindy movies, and and yet we're at a point where you could, with the technology, you could make a movie look like the 70s. I don't know if they shot it on old film or if they just used like color grading, but the cinematography, it looked great. It looked perfect, very saturated and yet kind of beautiful in a way. Everything was filthy, but it looked good.
Good. It looked good. Cinematography, I mean, not everything else.
Yeah. And Rutger Hauer looked pretty orange a lot of the time, but there was those shots at night where
he's very leathery.
Yeah. At night everything looked kind of dark navy blue, and yet there's like a street light in the background casting like a line of light on the ground. It looked super yellow. I mean, it looked good. The effects were they weren't bad. They were old school and they were over the top, but like the blood. I remember right from the first time he shot one of the burglars in the pawn shop, and the blood splattered on his face.
It looked like someone threw McDonald's barbecue sauce on his face.
Yeah. It's that dark red corn syrupy Hollywood blood like you see in those old movies. Even Dune had that super dark blood. And I mean, it was this movie is kind of an art piece, right? And it's sort of when you make something that is a throwback to an entire genre, and that's what this was. As far as being a good movie, I mean, it wasn't trying to be a movie.
It was not
like The Godfather.
Yes. It was not trying to be a good movie. There's no fucking way was this trying to be a good movie.
No. But so I think it absolutely succeeded at being what it was trying to be. It wasn't too comedic, but it was comedic in the way it was done.
I think they were trying to be comedic to sadistic people with the Drake and his sons. I think that's where they were putting their comedy in. Because come on, those two dudes overacting. They were comedy. Those guys
Right.
were comedy.
Right. They were like a family, but of the worst people imaginable, right? Like,
did you ever see this movie called Nothing But Trouble?
I don't think so.
From it's like the early '90s movie. Chevy Chase and Demi Moore. They're going on a trip, but they get lost and end up at this. They get brought to this fucking mansion. There's a bunch of fucking a bunch of weirdo family members. Like there's like two like giant fat guys living in the fucking yard, and they're like Dan Aykroyd is the father, and he has no nose, and he has to put his nose on. It's called Nothing But Trouble, but like
It
it's
sounds
like
weird.
A fucked up family.
I'd watch it.
A family full of fucked up people. Like you see, it's kind of along like the fucked up family people. Yeah, see shit like that. Like The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's in Texas Chainsaw, so he's talking about like horror movies, because like you got to remember that in Hollywood, movies were extremely clean up until like 67, maybe 68 or so, when they implemented the MPAA in the rating system.
The lovely Sherry knows the movie I'm talking about.
Okay, cool. And so, yeah, movies slowly, as they tried to outdo each other without going too far, they started getting more and more, extreme, until you get into the 70s and you got movies like this where, there's like really horrible people. It's exploitation movies is what I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what is a grindhouse movie? It's basically like an exploitation film. And so, people in the ghettos and people like prostitutes and drug dealers, and so in this case, it was just a hobo. a hobo with a shotgun.
Well,
So it's the ultimate exploitation, right? Because he even gets exploited in the movie by the bum fights guy.
Hobo with a lawnmower wouldn't have sounded as good, right?
No.
Unless he just took the blade out. No, the shotgun was
Oh yeah,
definitely a good call.
using it like Abby did, like using it like a shield, jumping
Right.
on people within killing them.
Right. So the movie knew all the tropes that it wanted to use, like the hooker with the heart of gold. You know, she and it's in a little bit of a way, it's kind of like a Western because
A loner coming through the city.
yeah. The wandering stranger with no name, the hobo, comes in on the morning train to a town that's full of crime. And he one man and a gun clean up the town.
And he delivers justice one shot at a time. I was hoping that he would make it through the movie.
In fact, yeah, Westerns even have the hooker with the heart of gold.
I was disappointed that he didn't make it through the movie.
I was just kind of disappointed because even Manticore said that the ending is a little, but or no, I think Fed said that. But yeah, like it's a good movie, but the ending is kind of it's not anticlimactic because he concludes his entire character arc. But after he shoots the Drake and then gets gunned down, the credits roll. It just ends right there. So there's no like Hollywood happy ending where you see Abby going on with her life or starting a new life in the plague or wandering into a new town, where the last scene is she ends up in a new town. Now she's the wanderer with a shotgun or with a nub. It really does.
One arm shall have the nub Wolverine blade, and the other arm shall have the lawnmower fan shield.
Sherry says, "Hobo in the Hood sounds good." Yeah, like was it the 5th Leprechaun movie?
Yeah, wasn't there
Leprechaun in the Hood?
There was a Leprechaun in the Hood, right? I can't say I've ever sat through an entire Leprechaun movie. Maybe I'll have to put one of those on the list.
Leprechaun went to the Hood after he'd already been to space, right?
He's in Australia now.
Wait, Leprechaun was in space too? Holy
fuck.
So.
I think Leprechaun went to space. Yeah, Leprechaun in space.
I know Jason went to space. I didn't know Leprechaun went to space. How the fuck is he getting up to space?
Let me double check. Sherry might already know. Leprechaun 4 in space. Yeah, because the 4th one is where you go to space. Jeez, Leprechaun 4 in space. 1997.
Holy shit, dude. If I could write one of these, could I submit it to Hollywood and they'll be like, yeah, we'll put it right on fucking DVD. No problem.
Well, I don't know about now. Maybe in 2011. I mean, because like when Snakes on a Plane came out, I saw that in the movie theater. Like that was a time that was ripe for that kind of movie.
You saw that in the movies?
Yeah, well, it was a big deal because people were excited. I saw it at the Nerdy Theater, right? Because people really wanted that movie to get made, and it had to be called Snakes on a Plane. So by the time it was done, they knew that it had to be kind of an over-the-top B movie, but it would be like an action thriller, like Air Force One, but more ridiculous.
The name of that movie made me not want to see that movie. The name alone of that movie, I don't want to.
Because it had already become a movie. Like Hollywood wanted to call it like Flight 247 or something boring like that, but the fans, having heard about it.
What if the Fast and the Furious movies were called Cars on the Road?
Yeah, the fans demanded that the movie be called Snakes on a Plane, right? And they also demanded that in the movie, because they knew Samuel L. Jackson was going to be in it, they wanted to hear him say, "I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane."
Oh, Jesus.
And they did. It happened. And so, Hobo with a Shotgun. I think that came out before Hobo with a Shotgun, but
Snakes on a Plane.
I think so. I think it did. I'm pretty sure it did. And but yeah, I mean, like that was a time. So I mean, you got it's not just the evolution of films, right? It's about trends in Hollywood, and it's also technology. Like right now, we all know we wouldn't get a movie like Hobo and a Shotgun in 2022.
Snakes on a Plane 2006. So yeah, that was before this.
2006. Okay, wow, that was 5 years before. Yeah, and so we hear all the time like, oh man, you can't make a movie like that now. I mean, you can say that about a lot of movies, right? Because like movies get made in their own time. When you have genres like exploitation films of the 70s, that was the time for those movies to be made. This movie was an homage to that movie, and so it exists as such. So
it's definitely trying to be old school, grimy looking.
Right, but to do it over the top at extreme.
The opening scene with him on the train was so nice, and they were playing like this kind of like the music they were playing was kind of like Westernish. It's like
yeah, and I didn't even think about it until like 2 minutes ago, but it is in many ways a Western. It's like an exploitation Western.
Westploitation, yes. I can't believe I didn't think about that during the movie, but yeah. I mean, because there's not like deserts and saloons and stuff, but I mean, the same tropes still apply, right? Like the hooker with the heart of gold could either be like a streetwalker in the big city, or it could be one of those, Wild West, hookers in the big poofy dress. And waving fancy ladies about town.
Right, exactly. Right, and so Rutger Hauer was, the Clint Eastwood of this movie, and and you got the crime boss,
and it's
who runs the town, with an iron grip.
Don't forget the boss always has to have his goons.
The boss what?
Always has to have his goons. Don't forget.
Yeah. Thank you, Sherry. A harlot. Yeah, the Western version of.
What do you call a harlot?
Oh, the old Wild West version, the equivalent of like the New York Streetwalker would be the harlot.
I think Manticore also refuses to watch Snakes on a Plane. I refuse to watch just because of the name. Yes, I will. I'm saying that. I will.
I won't ever be motivated to watch it again, but I wanted to see what it was going to be. It was like an event at the time. It was like 2006. How old was I then? I was like 19 years old when that movie came out. So, I was like, sure, I'll see it. I wasn't that discerning about quality. I wanted to see what the movie was actually going to be like, if it was going to take itself seriously or not. And a lot of that movie did take itself seriously, but then they worked in moments where it didn't, where it was self-aware. So it was the beginning of kind of a meta trend in movies towards things like that, right? And this movie is kind of like that, except that it was conceived that way from the beginning, and it at every point it knew that that's what it wanted to be. So it's not great cinema, but it's a fun movie, and
I guess it's worth at least a watch. So I guess if you want to watch a movie where you walk away from and be like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny you say that because I realized I had seen this movie before. I just forgot because the first time I saw it, I was drunk. So it is definitely the kind of movie that you can enjoy under the influence of substances, and so you can also see it again, right? It's been enough years that watching it again was fun again. But if you were offered Snakes on a Plane, I wouldn't want to watch that again like I would Hobo with a Shotgun.
Really? Oh, okay. So
I don't ever need to see Snakes on a Plane again.
You would give this another watch, you're saying?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would totally watch this again.
You got a thumbs up. So a thumbs up for this? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or A, B?
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah. All right. I guess your name is Harlot now.
I don't know. Who cares?
Go ahead.
What am I doing? Oh,
this is one you've watched before, like you said. When
I've seen this movie before, which is surprising because I've seen 0 movies ever. But I've seen this one. So yeah, it's rewatchable. It's not mostly for the one-liners, I think. There were some gold.
You mean to make fun of the one-liners? Not that they were cool. It's not like I'll be back or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll be back. Called her a fuck tube.
Said he could smell her asshole.
Mother Teresa and finger banging. I mean, what else?
Oh yeah. Mother Teresa finger banging you in hell. Oh yeah, and that's why the hobo says Mother Teresa's a saint, right? She wouldn't be in hell. That's it.
He did get very offended about Mother Teresa. He did defend her honor.
But yeah, I like the movie. I'd watch it again. I'll give it like a B plus.
What'd you think about the gore? Oh, the gore.
Oh, the gore, it was ridiculously over the top. I want to know what the budget is for the stage blood. Because there was just so much.
Let me see. Hang on.
How much did they spend
Well,
on
was
that
this
shit?
in theaters? Now I have to see. I didn't even check to see if this was in a fucking theater.
But I liked the movie.
It was in the theater.
Good. It was or wasn't?
Yep, it was.
How many theaters?
Yeah.
One.
Shut your filthy mouth. Mother Teresa was a saint.
Okay. I'll do one last thing before we wrap up. What do you guys think that the budget was of this movie?
Like $80.
Well, it's not less than $7,000 because Rodriguez always boasts that he made his first movie for $7,000. Maybe $1 million. $3
$3 million.
million? Okay,
80.
yeah. Oh, now that Tommy is back in the chat, I have to read this quote from the movie. You ready, Tommy? Ivan says to the crowd, "Go the fuck home, everybody, and don't forget to wash your dicks."
Yes, he does say that. Okay, what do you think the box office was?
$30
30
million? No, probably not even 30 million. I'm gonna say 8 million.
Nope.
Less?
They
More?
owed
Not even in the millions.
Oh, 800,000.
Yeah, 834.
Oh, yeah. Sherry says $1 million is a lot.
Wow. I didn't even think that this was in the. I think I first saw this on fucking Netflix. First time I fucking saw this movie. Yes, this was on fucking Netflix. I'm pretty sure it was.
$30 is $30.
Mhm.
The price is right.
Jesus.
Sure is the exact number. $834,953. Yeah, it's a pretty big loss. Budget for 3 mil. Compared to the budget, yeah, it was a flop. But losing $3 million, I mean, nowadays they spend like, 500,000 on a big Marvel movie. Well, in 2018 they did. But yeah, because like now we don't get as many movies, so we don't get as many low and mid-budget movies now as we did in 2011.
I'm not gonna say they were swinging for the fences, they were thinking this is gonna be the movie of all movies.
No,
it's obvious with the.
But that's another thing we don't have enough of now is low budget and mid budget movies. In my opinion, right? They're trying to reduce risk on these other movies, these unknown quantities, right? They want to get a franchise and then just put more money into that one big movie, so there's less of a risk, and they feel it'll give them a greater chance of a return. But then you don't get beautiful gems like Hobo with a Shotgun, and then if your big movie flops, you're screwed. Then you don't have some little sleeper hit like The Matrix to come along and make up that money, or the Joker. Remember, Joker made $1 billion on a fairly small budget, and Warner Brothers was not expecting that to happen, right? And that made up all the money that they lost on
Justice League?
I don't know. Yeah, Justice League and Birds of Prey. Like that. Yeah, Joker paid for a lot of other production at Warner Brothers, and they didn't think that one was going to be a hit. So like, it's worth it to, green light smaller projects, films with lower budgets, because you never know what's going to happen, and you can't always bank on that big one to be the success that you need it to be. And I often say that my favorite movies are usually mid-budget because they have more money than like independent films, so they can look good, but they're not so expensive that the studio meddles with it, to be what they want it to be because they spent so much money on it. They get more freedom. So it's like a sweet spot.
So overall, Hobo with a Shotgun, I thought was pretty stupid. I mean, it's funny to watch. I don't know if it's something I could watch by myself though. I think I need other people around me to watch this movie so I can make fun of it.
Yeah.
It's one of those types of movies. I mean, we've watched some bad movies doing this viewer advisory shit, but seeing that I saw this once before watching this again tonight, I think if I'm gonna watch this one again, it might be another 10 years, just like the last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It might have to be another 10 years. I might have to give myself 10 years worth of fucking rest from what I saw in this movie. There is no other movie like this fucking movie. I can't say I've seen a movie where people have a fucking octopus in their dungeon just so they could fucking start punching it. Like, you take out it's like a heavy bag in a Rocky movie. An octopus? Okay.
Okay, let me ask you something about that. The plague and their octopus. So, if most of the movie was an homage to exploitation, and structurally it was like a Western film, what do you think the plague were? What genre did they come from?
See, I don't know because I'm still on the fence if they're cybernetic or not.
Right.
Their robot voices throw me off and make me think there's some sort of cybernetics involved. So, like S&M, like Dreadnought. Like I don't know if you know about the Dreadnoughts from G.I. Joe. It kind of remind me a bit of the Dreadnoughts.
Tommy would know.
Yeah, G.I. Joe. There's like a subgroup of Cobra. They're called the Dreadnoughts. They're from Australia.
Okay.
Zartan is the leader. He's the master of disguise, and they're like the rest of them are just like goons who like one of them has a chainsaw gun, one of them uses a jackhammer. They have like weird Mad Max-ish type weaponry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they were kind of out of place in this movie, but that's one of the things I liked about them. They're a little bit sci-fi, a little bit Lovecraftian horror. Like, they kind of seem a little supernatural or
metal.
strangely high-tech.
Like, definitely metal characters.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. They're like, this movie is very over the top, so maybe it was just like heavy metal. And this is like Heavy Metal Magazine, right? Maybe you're right. It was just like a bit of metal.
Yeah, like Road Warrior-ish, like.
Mm-hmm. Or even just like the music of that time. I mean, go back to like 78. You got like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest.
Is it a good bad movie or a bad movie?
Oh,
good bad.
I think it's
Good question. That's a good question.
I think it's a good bad movie.
I don't think I could give a definite answer on that. What do you think, Carol?
I think it was a good bad movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
You sound disappointed.
For now, I'll agree with you two. I'll say good bad.
Good bad. At the Red House.
Where white people and black people buy furniture.
And Hispanics, too.
So thanks for coming through. I want to wrap this up.
Well, what's next week? Or is it a secret?
Next week. Okay. Last week I thought I was gonna do body parts, but I couldn't find the movie. But I could find the movie. So next week will be body parts.
Body parts. I've never seen it.
Yes. I've seen it once. I've seen it once, probably like close to 10 years ago. Yeah.
And it's not about Howard Stern, right?
Wait, what's his movie called? Oh God, his movie was called Body Parts too. That's
No, it is Private Parts, but
okay.
they're totally different.
I'm not a Howard Stern fan, so
I'm
I
not a
say.
2022 Howard Stern fan.
I was never a Howard Stern fan. But give you the floor. Boom.
Boom. Hey, this was fun. Thank you for bending to my request and moving it to Thursday, although
No doubt.
you know, there's never they say there's never a perfect time to stream, but I'm glad we watched this one. It was a bit of a change of pace as far as time, because this is the most recent bad movie that we've watched.
Recent of the viewer advisory movies.
Right. Like, this movie was recent enough to be aware of those previous trends in movies that we've seen other films from in the past. And it was a movie that knew it was a bad movie when they were making it. But yeah. So thank you for hosting Slasher. And as always, come subscribe to my channel.
Thank you for co-hosting.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. And glad Carol could join us. I should be coming back. People keep asking me that. I don't have an exact date, but I'm getting, I'm feeling it. It'll be soon.
Mm-hmm.
Carol doesn't believe me.
I don't.
You're on Twitter and the gram, right? Aren't you on the gram?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, not on the gram.
No,
but
not on the gram.
Shh.
There is no gram.
I don't mean cocaine. It's okay.
There's no spoon.
No, I don't do that anymore. No, yeah, I am on Twitter. You can find me, and yeah. And I've been doing more stuff lately, so you might have seen me around here and there. I was on Etepo Queens, a place to be reviews last night, and I was moderating for Cardinal Sin's biggest show ever. It was it's quite an event, and he's recently passed 1,000 subscribers. I got a lot of good friends and a lot of good people that are making it happen right now, and I'm very happy for all of them. And I'm very pleased that we're still doing this, that you brought it back, and we've continued to do it.
I have fun doing this.
Yeah, dude, this is a good time.
Viewing, letting people view these stupid movies, and we cut into it afterwards.
Good time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Carol's gonna say like a sentence and a half, and
I hate you. No, I don't. I have something coming up soon, but I'm not ready to say what it is yet. So you're gonna have to wait on that. In the meantime, I will trade porn on my computer if you back Artifice Reanimate on Indiegogo. Gary is trying.
Wait, what?
Porn? There's no porn on my computer. Just go check out this comic book and throw money at it.
Okay.
Please. Pretty please. Sugar on top. I'll let you guys up in the tree.
Stop talking about trading porn with people, please.
It's not real porn. It's My Little Pony. My Little Pony.
Are you?
No.
Are you writing brony fan fiction?
No, not me.
Oh, I hope Tommy didn't hear that.
Why is he into brony porn?
I got it.
No.
I got it.
Yeah, I had
All right.
fun. Thanks.
That reveal was quite tragic right there.
All right, I put the link in the chat for the Indiegogo
Don't put anything
campaign.
brony porn.
It's
fan.
not right. It's a real comic book. Knock it off. Go and check
All right.
it out.
No, this link is not for anything brony related. That Indiegogo link is for Artifice Reanimate.
I got you.
Hey, Jackslaw. Yeah, no, that.
I'm winding down. Hello, Jackslaw.
Hey, Carol, who's working on?
Jackslaw has a garbage pail kid as his avatar. That's cool.
Who's working on what?
Who's working on Artifice Reanimate?
That's so.
Oh, that would be Manicore in the chat and Smirk the Alien.
Tommy.
Check them both out.
Is Vic involved?
And Vic King does the drawing of the pictures, and I don't know who did the coloring.
Sherry,
thank you.
Sherry. Well,
go check it out. Sherry.
I'm gonna go down the line and say good night before anything brony related comes up.
There's no brony in the stuff here, I promise.
No brony talk. No brony talk.
Are you triggered? Are you okay?
No, I'm saying I'm going up to.
Do you need to go to the Red House?
I don't want to hear no brony shit. Just like I don't want to hear anything about anything involving grease.
Look how upset he is.
Grease gets me annoyed.
It's adorable.
Tommy, later. Moira. I was trying to go through the fucking
and
chat.
Raquel. Yeah, if Raquel is still live, we can raid her. She was celebrating 600 subscribers tonight.
That's great. She might still be going.
Creepy little book's going right now.
Oh.
Too, if you guys want to go there.
Thanks, sis. Thank you.
Good night, Lasso. Thanks for showing up.
I got pretty much everybody else. So next week, body parts.
Be here.
Going back to the 90s.
Oh, good night, Sherry.
Later, folks.
Oh, Raquel.
Bye, chat.
Good night.